Hello everybody, my name is Dratnos, and welcome to This Week in Mythic Plus. This week's affixes are Bursting, Volcanic, Tyrannical, and Encrypted. I'm recording this video in advance because I'm going to be out of town on reset here, so a little bit in advance this time, but the TLDR of this is, it's the last Tyrannical week of the season. So if you are interested in Tyrannical score, for whatever reason, for Keystone Master, for Keystone Hero, for Cryptic Hero, now is your chance. So go out there, get your keys done. It's a pretty good week as well. Bursting, Volcanic, these are fairly low impact affixes. Bursting, of course, can be bad if you don't stagger the bursting stacks well, if you do really big pulls and you don't have stuff like Mass Dispel, you don't have things like Dwarf Racial. If you are interested in actually pushing, super high keys this week, it's definitely a consideration of swapping some of your characters over to Dwarf to be able to Stoneform off Bursting. That's a really big value this week. If you do that, get a weak aura as well that lets you know when you can do that. So if you're ever switching to Dwarf for the first few weeks after you get it, you should just get a weak aura that lets you know when you have something you can Stoneform, because otherwise you'll probably miss some chances to do it. In terms of which dungeons are going to be bad with these affixes, there's really not any super nasty bursting or volcanic dungeons. I mean, there's basically never any nasty volcanic dungeons ever. Actually, one of the hardest volcanic fights is Echelon, where you get stunned if all the ads are still up, so make sure you're killing those ads so you don't get volcanic attacked during your stun. And then bursting, there's not really too much bad stuff with bursting. Plaguefall, obviously, first room. I always give a little caveat, these things do trigger on death affixes, so you want to be careful of over bursting yourself here if you don't have something like a Mass Spell, that kind of stuff. But other than that, there's really not too much. They've done a pretty good job this expansion of mobs that shouldn't burst don't. If you go back to like BFA or Legion, you'll notice there's all these little mobs that shouldn't trigger on death affixes but still do. And yeah, this expansion, there's kind of only a couple of culprits for that. It's like you got to watch out for the groundskeepers and the bursting slimes, or the slimes, and other than that, it's not too bad. So yeah, not really too much else to add about this week. Again, we are going into Season 4. We believe it'll just go straight into that on the Inspiring Quaking Tyrannical week. That week, instead, it might just be Inspiring Quaking Tyrannical Shrouded, or it might be an entirely new, it might even be a fortified week. It could be anything, so don't have any plans about what they'll do there. It's even possible. Usually they do like a postseason, there's a couple of weeks buffer between seasons, but I don't think that will happen with Season 4. I think we're just going to go straight into fully loaded Season 4 mechanics. There's not going to be any of those weird transition periods where like the raid isn't out yet, the M+I level is lower. But they haven't, at least at the time of recording this video, they haven't posted any exact confirmation on how that handover will work. They also haven't posted anything about like how old M+ trinkets will work. If there's something like a 278 IQD or blood spattered scale or file that you're worried might still be BIS for you even when those dungeons rotate out next season, because for those who don't know, all of these dungeons except for Tazavesh and Gambit aren't going to be in the M+ pool next season. They're being replaced with some older ones from some older expansions. Yeah, so we don't know if those 278s, if you'll be able to get higher than 278 or 272 if you didn't get that out of your vault from those trinkets, or if they'll stay at that level. Hopefully they'll nerf any that stay good at 278, because that would be pretty annoying if just random Season 3 gear was still BIS that you couldn't even obtain anymore. But yeah, we also don't know if you can Valor upgrade M0 loot from these rotating out dungeons. My answer to that, again, is hopefully not, but these are all kind of questions we'll be answering once we start that season. Either way, there's not too much you can do to like target gear that you might want for next season. The best you can do is like fill up your Great Vault and get at least 272 versions of any trinkets that you're worried might still be BIS next season, even if they're 26 item levels behind the Karazhan Mechagon trinkets. There are some good trinkets out of those dungeons as well, so I wouldn't be too worried about this, but it could be a little side quest you can set for yourself this week if you really have fear of missing out on something like that. Anyways, I'll make another video on this as soon as there's more information about how that will all work, or maybe at the start of the season once we just get to test it for sure. Hope you enjoyed the video. Good luck in your keys this week. See you in the next one. Bye.